Gamers, welcome back. I'm assuming you were all here yesterday, right? Because it was President's Day, and we're not messing with that guy, right? You understand that I could totally get why you would take the third Monday in February off during the Biden administration. Sorry, unless you fully support all the guy's actions, you had to work yesterday. It's the way it goes, man. For real, I did work. Well, yeah, I believe that. I believe that, librarian. Don't you have like 6 jobs? Least employed zillennial? You're not a zillennial, you're just Gen Z. 6 jobs, 1 wife? I'm legally not allowed to say the joke that I was going to make in that place instead. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to find a way to do it, but I can't do it. Hatsune Miku's his wife? She wishes. You see the picture of Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline cover, but instead of Bob Dylan, it's Hatsune Miku? What you see versus what she sees? No? Just me. Reddit front page, every time I go to the Reddit front page, it serves me like the top post from r/Bob Dylan. It knows what it's doing, man. You already talk about 12 Angry Men? I've been live for 45 seconds, so we've already covered 12 Angry Men. Has anyone heard of this movie before? Little underrated 1957 classic, 12 Angry Men. It's too late. I've already depicted you as the emotional juror number 3 and me as the reasonable juror number 10. Who's number 6? Number 6, I believe, is the working man. Number 6 is the guy who's like, yeah, I don't know anything about all that. I'm just something of a working man. He has like 3 lines in the whole movie. Who does number 2 work for? I can answer this one. I just watched the movie. He works for the bank. He did that shit, right? Yeah, I think he did. I do believe, based on the evidence that's presented in the movie, I do think that dude did that shit. That being said, juror number 8 made a compelling case throughout the film that there was a reasonable doubt. I think he would have convinced me for sure. He only said it like 50 times. It's possible. I'm not saying I believe that he didn't do it. I'm just saying I don't necessarily believe that he did. Juror number 7. Juror number 7, he's a little, I mean, I don't think, you know what, in my head, 90% of people that I see are basically juror number 7. Just put the man in the chair, mate. The footy's starting in 90 minutes. Just put the cap on his head, mate. Wait, maybe juror 10's not the reasonable one. Juror 11 is the reasonable one. Juror number 10 is the dude who, like, hates Italian people, right? My bad. The guy who is so racist that even in 1957, like, all the other guys are like, can you please stop being so racist, please? Even juror number 3 is like, just chill, man. Just chill. You'd be 4? What's wrong with being juror number 4, man? Juror number 4 he's a reasonable man. Juror number 4, he voted guilty for a long time, but he fucking mogs juror number 12, who's just like, votes guilty, and then is like, whatever, I'll vote not guilty if you guys want me to. Juror number 4 has he's got a backbone. He just takes a little bit of extra convincing. You should see 12 Angry Men, though. It is a good movie. I gave it 5 stars and a heart. I mean, you knew from 1 minute into the movie, as soon as you choose to watch 12 Angry Men, you're not going to watch it and be like, that's like a 3.5. You pretty much got to give it a 5, but like, still, I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was a fantastic film. And at the start of the movie, you're like, wow, 12 dudes in a room? There's no way I'm going to know anything about these guys by the time the movie ends. But then, by the end of the movie, you're like, I know all these guys. Juror number 1, high school football coach, reasonably principled, but mostly concerned with just the machinations of being a jury foreman. Juror number 2, meek banker who grows a spine throughout. Juror number 3, ego-driven to be the leader of the guilty cause. Juror number 4, votes guilty but is principled, just needs a little extra convincing. Juror number 5, mostly exists to show them how to do cool knife tricks. I mean, we could do this all day. Juror number 6, just a working man. Juror number 7 just wants to watch his baseball game. Juror number 8 is Henry Fonda. Juror number 9 is an old guy. He's probably 47 years old because the movie was made in 1957. We could do this all day. We could do this all day. When the dude who said he doesn't sweat had to wipe his brow. Yes, dude. when Chad, juror number 7, finally fixes the 1 6-inch diameter fan in the enormous room on the hottest day of the year, and everybody starts to feel some relief, that's cinema, man. In 1957, that was like cranking the AC up to maximum. Justin Tucker still your GOAT? Justin Tucker? Oh, my GOAT. I don't want my GOAT to get old. I'm a big Ravens guy. That's my thing. I'm a big Ravens guy. I love the Ravens. Listen, man, there's no way we could have known. I just like the way he kicked the ball until last year. I guess I'm not as astute as other people. Other people knew that the way he was kicking the ball was a little bit problematic. I didn't know that. I thought I was just watching football. I didn't think that I knew everything about the guy just from the way that he kicked the ball, including that he's been accused of not being like the nicest guy from a massage type standpoint. I didn't know all about that. Heard they got your mans, got your mans on, and he's washed. Not that that's relevant to the situation, but also this is notwithstanding the accusations against Justin Tucker. He's still my GOAT of having perhaps the most 90s name of all time. He's got Justin and Tucker all wrapped up in one package. That's like 2 top 10 boys' names from my generation, all wrapped into one. It's like a dude named, trying to think of another one. You know, you don't see that many Scotts anymore. Have you noticed this? You don't see, I definitely feel like there's not that many Justins. Let me rephrase. There's probably tens of millions of Justins on the planet, but they're not making them as fast as they're being used up. Probably true for Ryans as well. I don't hear a ton of Ryans. I knew several Justins, man. Like, I mean, I still do. I guess Justin, I didn't even think about it, but he lived through Valentine's Day, huh?
What'd you write?
And now, you've spent your entire life seeking an answer to this question.
What if he answers?
Oh, no.
What if he says like tonight, man?
What if he says tonight, dude? Everyone
In the Geostorm!
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Oh,
Fuck!
Justin has the potential to do the funniest thing possible.
Librarian, take note. Take note, librarian.
Was he not supposed to? There was like a prophecy or whatever. As a mic, there's too many mics. Honestly, if you removed all the mics and the Justins from my classrooms from like elementary school through to college, it would have tanked attendance by like at least 15 to 25%. There was a period in university where like I hung out with maybe 10 people and like 3 of them were named Mike. So we didn't call them Mike. We called them, one of the guys was Mike plus his last name. Another one of the guys was just his last name. And Mouth was not even involved. He was at a different school, man. Definitely knew a lot of Chris's as well. No doubt about that. I feel like Scott is like, it's gone, man. Like there was usually like 0.5 Scots in my average elementary school class. I feel like I don't meet any Scots anymore. Scotty doesn't know killed all the Scots. I mean, they were like, this had to be like at least a few million Scots before Eurotrip even came out. Eurotrip's been out for years. That's why I'm so confused. What was the third Michael known as? It varied depending on the day. John's, I could see that too. John used to be a last name required situation. And nowadays, I mean, it's just mostly from, you know, like knowing a bunch of kids that are 5 years old or 4 years old, because my daughter's in that corridor right now. They're not making new Johns, man. I also feel like there's lots of girls' names that are in the same boat. You know how many Emilys I knew as a kid? Has anybody... Jerry Seinfeld, when he's 90 years old in the retirement home, you don't meet Emilys as much anymore. What happened to the Emilys? Where did the Emilys go? There's so many Emilys. Dude, under 10, you're meeting one Emily for every 25 Olivias. Without a doubt. They are in Paris, I'm hearing. Les Emilys. What about Ashley? That's probably a better example. Our school district was overrun with Ashleys, man. What about Patrick? That I feel like I do encounter some Patricks still, to be honest. I hate the name Patrick. Joel Barish in fucking Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Ass. Oh! That's all right. That's all right. We take those. God said you're not ready for that lesson yet. Worst thing that could happen is like winning by accident, man. By the way, I heard Vinny played this yesterday. There was it says a lot about Origin. Now, Origin, don't think this is a negative. I actually think this is a positive. I think this is character growth. Yesterday, what did I say when I got back? I said like I lived bitch or something like that. Origin said #Misk. They were on me for Misk posting in Twitch. As I've said before, I'm the streamer, so everything I say, by virtue of me being the person that says it, belongs in the Twitch channel. Now, I think it's cool that we can have this disagreement and still like defend to the death your right to say it, right? But that's my take is that as this, I said put the chip in the cap, mate. That's even more Twitch related, man, because that's what I'm doing right now. That's exactly, yeah, dude. Kick.tv, Richard Nixon. I'm saying that when the streamer does it, it's not Misk. Mod versus Nixon. That's good. Thank you, chat, for that was not even an assist. I basically just like deflected it. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. We were mighty close on that one. That was pretty good. And what other Twitch channel do you get like a Richard Nixon reference like that? You might get like, I'm not a crook and the peace sign or something like that. You might get some motherfuckers who know the word Watergate. You're not going to get any motherfuckers like me who have seen him tuck the baby blue polo into the chinos on the California beach and then say, fucking, hear me out for a second. I get that he was like 5'2", but it's kind of like male fashion advice. But regardless, what was I saying? Vinny was playing this, that's right, okay? Now, I saw Chiblee do the same thing, and it's just, it takes different strokes to rule the world, or whatever the song says. I get that you can just, and Chiblee was trying to be like my fucking Grima worm tongue. You can just bounce the 2 into the cap, you know, something like that. You can even do it with the 1. Well, let me tell you, when you put the chip in the cap, that doesn't mean you've done the trick shot. Anybody can put the chip in the cap. You could just grab the cap in your hand and go. It's not about putting the chip in the cap. It's about putting the chip in the cap the right way. You can buy a rabbit and a hat. That doesn't make you a magician, okay? I will say, for a brief moment, I turned my eyes away from enlightenment. I said, you know, I looked at my YouTube, like, scheduled videos, and I was like, it's really just Trick Shot Sim. And I was like, maybe I should play something else today. And then go back to Trick Shot Sim tomorrow. But then I went to Apollo's stream to shitpost about 12 Angry Men. And I was cracking some jokes. Apollo was laughing. I was laughing. His whole chat was just like, maybe you should replace the fishing net with the harpoon now. Harpoon, please. Don't forget about Lefty Lucy. And I said, oh my God, thank you, Apollo, for showing me the error of my ways. Now, let me just say, I'm not saying I'm doing it better than him. He is able to shrug off those kind of comments better than I am. I thought I was going to move from wing to center, and then I saw him take a face off and get slashed on the shins. So you might say that's why he's got shin guards. I'm like, buddy, you can catch me hanging out near the blue line. I know where I belong, man. I know where I belong. Can I say, Chiblee, I called him not a real yearner because he gave Before Sunrise a 4 out of 5. This weekend, I Googled Letterboxd Chiblee, and I saw that he gave 5 stars to Paddleton. I apologized to him. I went into the Discord and said, Chiblee, I'm sorry. I said you weren't a real yearner. I'll just, you know what? I'll give you my messages, like right off the top here. Pop your top off then, love. Let me see. What did I say here? Chiblee, saw your 5 stars for Paddleton when I Googled Chiblee Letterboxd. I was wrong about you. You are a real yearner. Finally, I meet another Paddleton head. You mean Paddington? Shut up, head ass. I said it before anybody else in the Discord could possibly say it. I also saw Dan's review of Paddington in Peru that said, I can handle the truth. This review may have spoilers. And then I clicked on the review, and the review was like a fun movie for the whole family. It got me great, man. It got me so good. Spoilers, I didn't want to know. Actually, this is what it was like at the peak of Marvel insanity, which I was also a victim and a perpetuator of. Dude, no spoilers. I didn't even want to know if the movie was good or bad. Talking about whether the movie is good or bad is a spoiler, dude. You're influencing my ability to make up the opinion for myself. Severance updates now. I have no... My quarrel is not with the Severance heads, but I think you're going to have a quarrel with me. I watched the first episode. People think that I hate Severance because this is my experience. The first episode was free. I watched the first episode and said that was good and have not seen another episode because the other episodes aren't free. People are like, you fucking hate it. Just because I wasn't like, oh, I couldn't. The mystery box was so compelling after the first episode. I just had to give them my credit card number. I'll fucking wait, dude. I got no problem with that. The show was good. When I was watching it, I was like, this is an interesting world that they built here in episode 1. But like, it didn't brain jack me. It's not like I already know how the mystery ends, man. The show peaks season 3 or season 4, and then eventually they're like, we got to wrap this stuff up because they're going to make Zoolander 3. So they start solving the mysteries, and inevitably as they collapse the mystery box, it becomes, less and less engaging because it doesn't get solved in the way that people want it to be solved. And then the final season ends up getting like a mixed critical reception, and then we all move on with that. I'm not trying to be cynical. I'll watch it once it's more readily available for me to watch. In the meantime, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to, man. You are being cynical? Yeah, but like in a funny way. I hope this is relatable. Otherwise, I might just be like the last man of my kind. If people heard me talk and didn't know me, I think they would assume that I'm depressed. But actually, I'm like very satisfied in life. There's just some stuff I'm cynical about. Like, I don't understand, is it possible, not to retread well-worn ground, but is it possible if we took out the auto flushers in public bathrooms that flush 6 times before you finish your piss, we could then take that environmental impact that we saved and get more than 2 centimeters of paper towel at any given time? Is that possible? Maybe I'll just be in charge of flushing my own toilet, so I only flush it once per bowel movement instead of like 8 times for every time I'm in the stall, and then I could get enough paper towel to actually dry my hands. How did we get here? The world's a crazy place, man. You try to have no impact, but every time you take a piss, you still cast a shadow on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Pissing longer than 2 minutes is the issue. Ableist. It takes a minute and 30 seconds just for the piss to make it to the tip. And I don't have a particularly prodigious phallus. Just very, very thick urine. Very extreme. What color is it? That's personal. I wouldn't dare answer that question. You found public toilets that flush? Sometimes it takes a while. You got to find a seat that doesn't have shit on it, which is increasingly difficult these days. People always talk about the shopping cart as like the ultimate test of someone's character, but you're forgetting something when it comes with the shopping cart. You're being observed, and being observed can change your behavior because you're worried about being cast out by the tribe. The public bathroom stall, I really feel like is more of a test of your character. Every public bathroom stall that I go into has toilet paper on the floor. I'm just trying to, and I don't think it's kids, man. I think it's motherfuckers my age that go in and they're like, they pull out the toilet paper and then like drop some on the floor and they're like, fuck it, whatever. They should make it so you can't drop the towel on the floor. This bathroom is still poorly designed. Way too much toilet paper came out of the roll when I grabbed it. Someone else will get it, man. I'm not going to get it. The bathroom floor is it's dirty. Look, somebody else put the toilet paper on the floor before I put it. There should just be like the whole floor should be like a garbage can so that if you accidentally drop something, you don't have to expend 0.1 calories to pick it up. Are you a good dude and clean it up? Yeah, dude. Especially like, because a lot of the times I'm going into the stall because my daughter has to go potty. I'm wiping the shit off the seat. It's a given I'm wiping piss off the seat. This shit is pissing me off. I understand. I got a hose on me too. Sometimes when you're pissing, it gets on the seat, okay? Now, prevention is worth a pound of cure. But when I get a little piss on the seat, I don't go, fuck it, dude. I get the tissue paper and I rub the seat and I clean it. Because, I don't know, I have respect for my fellow man that's going to be coming in there after me, okay? But like a lot of motherfuckers out there are just, oops, my bad. It's crazy. So you know how it is. Yeah, Alex, you know how it is. You got a kid. I don't know if it's different in Japan a little bit, maybe or maybe not. Corey, you might feel the same way on this one. You got more experience than me. I definitely feel that in North America, men are just pissing on the seat. And I know I go through this all the time, but it's actually kind of getting worse. They're pissing on the seat or shitting on the seat, which is crazy to me, but I don't know if that's like a targeting camera issue, so I don't want to like really get into it. I feel like some people piss on the seat just by accident. The shit on the seat, I think, is more of like there's an equipment issue, but regardless, then they go to the sink, they turn the water on and get their fingertips wet for 1 second, pick their nose, rub their fingers through their hair, fix their clothes in the mirror for like 15 seconds with the sink still running, and then turn it off, man. And then they go outside and eat I don't know, like some fucking Ethiopian food or something like that. It's crazy. Once when I was in Japan, I did go into a stall with a squat toilet, which doesn't bother me because I was just pissing. If I was shitting, I probably would have waited. And then when I got into the stall, there was like a turd with a shoe print in it. And it's a dilemma, man, because it's too late. You're already in the stall and I'm not Japanese. So if I just go into the stall and then come out, people are going to be like, that white guy shit on the floor and stepped on it. So I just pissed, and then I was very lucky. The whole time I was in the stall, though, I was like, please let there be no one out there when I leave. And that's exactly how it went down. I wish the story had a more bombastic ending, but I was saved. That's so true. God damn you, half Japanese turds. Shoo it to me every time. Oh, the custodian said you sullied the... I need a two-syllable word for tile that rhymes with jello. I know we've done the bit before as well, but I love the Pinkerton where Rivers Cuomo's like, why can't I have a serious relationship? And then track 5, you are an 18-year-old girl who lives in a small city in Japan. You heard me on the radio about 1 year ago, and you... That's not gonna make it. It's because you're being weird, bro. It's because you're being weird. Rivers, you're being weird, man. Whatever. Yeah, you know what, white boy? You're okay. Get in here. I don't know. Maybe he's chill. He didn't have to say all that stuff on Buddy Holly or whatever, but Deco maybe. And I'm oh, the janitor said you wrecked the deco, and I'm jello, babe. Yeah, okay. All right, you know what? This is why songs have more than one writer sometimes. Why would you be jello about that? Redditor comment, knees weak, arms spaghetti. Did you guys see the Reddit AMA from the lady who was in the plane crash in Toronto? And follow-up question, did you see all the Redditors that were telling her to play Tetris? Chib and Apollo were not joking, man. They had it 100% right. Redditors are like, they're the Brady game strategy guide to life. The lady was like, yeah, I'm still in shock. I think I'm having some trouble getting to sleep. There's like a 700 upvote reply that's like, you know, when I have trouble getting to sleep, I like to lay on my back and count backwards from 100 by threes. And I'm like, bitch, she was just in a plane crash, man. You get her some fucking sedatives or something? Does she have is there a pharmacist at the airport that could give her a Xanax or something? Her plane flipped over, exploded, and the wings came off. You're like, I like to try to make up a story in my head. I find it really distracts me on nights where I can't fall asleep. Her plane exploded, man. I don't think it's the same as like remembering the time you said you too to the ticket ripper who said enjoy your movie. Like this is it's a different kind of class of criminal here. It didn't explode? Okay, there was a lot of fire. I don't know the endothermic versus exothermic kind of taxonomy of like an explosion versus just ambient flames, but it was there CH4 was being used and fucking heat was coming out. That's all I'm going to say. Only Wes Anderson I've seen is Grand Budapest. What should I watch next? 12 Angry Men. Nah, I'm just kidding. You see the picture from movie Circle Jerk that was like, what's your favorite Wes Anderson movie? And it was a picture of Tony Soprano's mom. Reddit gets a bad rap, man. There's some there's some really bad subreddits, but there's some ones that they could tickle you a little bit as well. Dude, by the way, we won a huge cultural victory this weekend. My wife finished the 3 seasons of Schitt's Creek that are on Netflix. And then she said, well, with Netflix raising its prices, looks like I can finally cancel it. Ooh. And I said, you know, I think CBC Gem has the other, 4 seasons of it or whatever. And then she went to CBC Gem. That shit is $5.99 a month. Signed up, man. You can catch my ass. I'm gonna do open every stream. You guys see that new episode of fucking what's the show called? I can't just keep using Murdoch Mysteries, man. What's the one they always advertise on the hockey games now? It's the lady's jumping. Yes, North of North. Thank you. You guys see the new episode of North of North? You guys see that new Justin Hartley show? What's it called? I can't remember. Kim's Convenience? Kim's Convenience been off the air for years, man. That's why I'm so confused. Shang-Chi will return in Shang-Chi and the Legends of the 11 Rings. I will say, I don't want to say it pissed me off, but Chib and I were talking Paddleton, and then Apollo said, why does every movie you recommend have to be so sad? Now, I didn't say to him what I'm thinking now after a shower conversation. What I should have said is, I don't recall recommending it to you. You wouldn't get it. What I actually said was, well, you know what? Let me go find it here. Let me go. I'll litigate it. I'm not trying to be dishonest. Why does every movie you recommend have the saddest shit? To which I replied, A Real Pain isn't sad. It's touching. Deadpool and Wolverine is on Disney Plus, though, if that's more your speed. Now that was. It's because he hurt my feelings. I had to come back and hurt his feelings. Okay, I had to come back. But then I said, Conclave is sick and not sad at all, or Challenger's Bat Chest. Wait, have you seen? And then I hit caps lock. The Last Duel. And then I said, it's really hot, but I meant hot as in good. But then I was like, after he reads the synopsis, he's going to think that I'm a sick man. So I edited it really quick and said, it's really good. And then he said, I've not. And I was like, buddy, this guy needs to see The Last Duel, man. He would love The Last Duel. He loves Game of Thrones, man. Yeah, it was probably the last good Ridley Scott movie. It's crazy, too. I was going to see Gladiator 2 just out of a sense of like, hey, I kind of like sword and sandal type epics, even when they're not that very good. Then literally everybody that I've talked to about Gladiator, like it has a decent critical reception, but every real human being that I talk to about Gladiator 2 says it's absolute trash. Denzel's worst performance? I don't know. Have you seen Game Night? Have you? It's a little bit of a thinker. You have to have seen the movie to understand that one. He does. You're right. In Game Night, he disappears right into the character. You can barely tell it's him at all, man. I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet. I have seen the video of Timmy C dancing to Visions of Joanna, though. The light I never knowed type shit. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I hear you. Songs I listen. It's just a little. I like Don't Think Twice. It's all right, but it's a little braggadocious, right? I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway. Head ass, quit bragging, dude. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Yeah, no shit, you're 22 and living in my fucking apartment. That's fucking good, man. That would have killed on stage in like 1966, man. You're living in my house, bitch. What are you doing? What are you talking about? You just know that fucking Louise was livid when she heard visions of Johanna, right? The fuck do you mean the ghost of electricity is lighting up the bones of my fucking face? Louise listening to Blonde on Blonde. Who's Johanna? Revs? Yes, exactly. Mods? Oh! Yeah, I gotta get this street legal, but I'm working my way through Blonde on Blonde still. But honestly, I went backwards in my Bob Dylan journey. Listening to Blonde on Blonde as a teenager, I was like, I don't really get it. Blood on the Tracks is like, I think I get the idea of it. Then at 36, re-listening to Blood on the Tracks, I was like, yeah, I get it. Listening to Blonde on Blonde, I'm like, I'm starting to tease it out. I'm starting to tease it out a little bit. What's this brown on brown business? I would have gone bald on bald, but I get what you're talking. Yeah, me and Corey, when we hang out and fuck bald on bald, is that what you're talking about? I'm not, usually if we hang out, we're not on each other. I'm not going to say it's never happened, but I don't know. Corey strikes me he's more of a Nashville Skyline listener. Corey, response to the allegations? It's not a bad album if you like the Muppets or whatever. Yes, man, I lay in a big brass bed with my wife. I was thinking too, like, gay Bob Dylan would be like, he sucks cock just like a man. Oh, he gawks just like a man. You got it, because I really want the last one to be like, yes, he does. He guzzles cum just like a man. But I can't get it to rhyme. It's got to be something like that. And then it's still got the fucking tender ass dunk. Plug his mic in. Woody Guthrie at the fucking Newport Folk Festival. Don't do it, Bob. Don't go gay. I'm doing it. Wait, there's something in there. Just give me a second. Once upon a time, you touched my balls. Didn't you? Dicking you? Boo! Boo! Bob Dylan went gay! He went gay! Now that would be a fucking movie, man. That would be a fucking movie. Woody Guthrie was pissed, man. Pissed. You don't see a lot of dudes named Woody anymore either. It's like Guthrie, Harrelson, and that's fucking it, man. Oh, right, the other one. We're not fucking with that guy, though. What a two, man. Got Tua. True, there's not many Woodrows these days either. Woodrow would be it's relegated to canine names now. It's canine nomenclature. Animals have taken a lot of our good names, man. Milo, Fido, Otis, Woodrow, Franklin. A lot of presidents, man. A lot of presidents. Sparky, yeah. Rex. You don't see a lot of Rexes anymore. I think Oedipus kind of ruined that as well, but Franklin's not an animal name. Bitch, you ever hear of turtles? That's so true. Gay Bob Dylan. A man in me would do nearly any ass. And then it writes itself after that point. You're so true. Did you address the plane that crashed in Toronto? Buddy, I'm not the pilot, okay? I'm chill. I didn't have anything to do with that shit. You got to talk to the remnants of the FAA or whatever we have in Canada about that shit. I'm not involved in that. That's true. I'm too woke to be the pilot, man. I fly on March 31st. Am I cooked? Listen, it's okay to be anxious about flying given the news that's in the news about all the aviation incidents, but at the same time, we're expanding the window of stolen valor. Like, there were people in Apollo's chat that were like, I fly on Monday and I'm anxious. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you weren't on the plane that flipped over, but like, I get it. There's only like a week until you fly again, but you're not flying until like March 24th. You're going to have like probably 15 crises that happen before then. I wouldn't worry about it. Plus, I mean, nobody wants to hear it. It's very Redditor coded. You're way more likely to die on the way to the airport. I mean, there's like a 2% chance you get hit by a meteor on the way to the airport. So, like, I would worry about that before you worry about the airplane, personally. Dude, I'm a little on today. My brain is making some fucking connections. Yeah, I'm on the limitless drug. Water. R/stay hydrated mod who's also a drug user. Oh, fentanyl? I only do heroin. Have you ever heard of heroin? You could imagine, this is not a real person, but you could imagine that that they exist, right? Just went on a 20-minute walk and feel amazing. NL's right, cardio will save you. Yes, sir. 10 hours a week on the Peloton will bring you closer to God. Don't get it twisted. My body looks exactly the same as it did 18 months ago. But at every pedal stroke, I get closer to salvation. La 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 la. Before Peloton was chonky? Yeah, but that was like almost 4 years ago now. It was a different era. It was a different man and it was a different river. 18 months ago, pretty much just looked basically the same, which is fine. 4 years ago? Yeah, it was like three years and 3 months. You could ride a stationary bike or you could do fun cardio. Yeah, are you doing either? Oh, hang on, this could be important. Need to relieve my bowels at work. The men's bathroom is by my boss's office. We're the only 2 people in the office. There's a women's restroom on the opposite side of the office that's in maintenance, but I'm pretty sure it isn't anymore. No one's removed the sign. Do I risk using this one? Worried she might walk in mid-poo. So your boss is a woman, and you're asking if you should use the women's bathroom when you're the only 2 employees in the office right now? No, dude. They're going to call the cops on you. That's that you use the men's bathroom, and then you hold it as leverage. If she ever gives you a bad performance review, you go, oh, let me guess. It's because you heard me having explosive diarrhea in the toilet. Well, I have Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. And as a result, you're discriminating against me because of my medical conditions. And then boom, you have her job. It's that simple. That's how you play corporate politics. And then, yeah, it's true. Then you can shit wherever you want, man. I will say I did work in an office once where there were like 11 women and I was the only man, but they legally still had to have a men's bathroom. And they were like, is it cool if we just use that bathroom when the women's bathroom is full? And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, lady. It's chill. I had no problem with it. Real life is so simple. That's the thing I'm trying to... Once you get off the internet, not everything, but a lot of things are much simpler. I think on Reddit, they would be like, that's your right to have your own private bathroom. It's not your fault you're the only man that they hired. But like in real life, you're just like, yeah, of course. I don't want you to piss your pants at work. Go ahead. Now, if there were like, 8 ladies and 4 dudes, I probably, if they asked, I think they would be in the wrong. But 11 ladies, 1 dude? Send it, man. We did used to have... unisex bathrooms in our dorm rooms too. I know. That's my Joker story, is when I pooped in the unisex bathroom and then all the girls came in and said, who is that? And made fun of me because my shit smelled bad. So for the rest of the year, I shit in the common room bathroom because it had a lock on the door. Plus, there was a kindred shitter too, because I used to shit like after my first period class, and there would always be like a fresh copy of the Queen's Journal in there. Yeah, gay Bob Dylan be like, that's true, man. I don't know. Sorry, there's a lot of lyrics going through my head right now, and some associated imagery. Honestly, are they TOS? No, I don't think so. As long as they say it's cool that Bob Dylan's gay, I actually think. That's probably the only way to make him a better artist. It's like instead of the song Sarah, it was like about, Daryl, Grecian type statue with a hell of a cock. Daryl. Now that you got me, you don't need a sock. Something like that. I might send him a letter. He might like it, man. It might be a good late pivot career. Plus, like, dude, if he's got writer's block, oh, I can't think of another song. But you've already written 700. Just make them all gay now. Weird Al can do it. He could do a whole album in like a month, man. I mean, Blowing in the Wind, it writes itself, man. You know, I mean, we might get 12 different verses in chat immediately. That's why he hasn't released an album in 12 years. Buddy, you're not fucking with Murder Most Foul? You're not fucking with Murder. Okay, whatever. I thought you were a real one or whatever, but never mind. Oh, I meant Weird Al. I think it's just that Weird Al, looking at the news lately, he just thinks it's not an appropriate time to laugh and tell jokes. We have a wrench in chat! We were just lamenting on Thursday that there's like, we don't see wrenches that much anymore. We got a wrench, man! I'm here all the time? Well, you weren't here on Thursday when we needed you the most. Show up when I said, hey, any wrenches in chat? Just because I didn't know what else to say. When we needed you the most, you vanished. There was a wrench on Thursday, you missed it? Oh, my bad. Just put the wrench in my ass. What? What are you talking about? Why would you say that? Fucking Optimus Prime at the... Wait, let me think about this. I haven't seen the end of Transformers 1 in a long time. Sam! Doesn't he say something like that? Sam, put the wrench in my ass! There's no time! Yeah, it doesn't really sound... That's more like... that was Venom. Yeah, you're right. That's Venom. Sam, put the wrench in my ass. Sam, put the fries in the bag. Is John Turturro in Transformers one of the worst wastes of talent of all time? I'd have to say that it's definitely in the top, like, decile, for sure. There's a lot of bad ones, though. Like, any Illumination Studios animated movie where, like, the 8th build person is still an Oscar winner, that one's up there for sure. Jeremy Irons in Dungeons & Dragons. Oh, you mean the Marlon Wayans movie? Yeah, that one's pretty bad. That one's pretty bad. Ben Kingsley in Prince of Persia is, I would say, certainly up there. J.K. Simmons in Postal. I hate to say it. I feel like J.K. Simmons is kind of becoming The old Rock. Right after Whiplash was like peak J.K. Simmons, and everybody was like, myself included, was like, I want to see this guy in everything. And then the more things I see him in, I'm like, we got to get this guy a new agent, man. He's in so much dog shit. He's in so much ass, man. You can minus to me like all you want. He's in Omega. He's in Red One. He's in the Tomorrow War. He's in Invincible. I was talking about like real art, not anime. Whatever, fuck you. I'm coming around on the anime fans because someone in the Peloton Discord said the average Letterboxd review of the best movie you've ever seen be like 5 stars. Looks like the dumb bitch convention came to town. And the average review on my anime list of like a 2 out of 5 anime is like 5 paragraphs actually interfacing with the art. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to call a truce with the anime fans, man. The top Letterboxd reviews are pissing me the fuck off every day. Nah, you should read some of my anime list reviews first. Yeah, it's probably true. I'm gonna get in trouble. Letterboxd is a normie site. No, it's not. It's cool people on Twitter coded. It's not Turbo Normie. If it was Turbo Normie, the #1 movie of last year would be Venom: The Last Dance. It's cool Twitter users who have left Twitter but still crave the attention, which, trust me, I understand. That's new normie? No, it's not. Those normies are still out there. They're just not online that much. They're walking outside in Target with t-shirts that have so much writing on it, it looks like a Dr. Myers soap bottle. Oh, Dr. Bronner's, thank you, Dr. Bronner's. Next time when I actually write that joke down, that's going to be, I got to make sure I got it right. Jesus t-shirt plus 8 kids. I saw a dude yesterday, he was wearing a shirt, and just like, I don't know, I feel like the one day there's going to be like a study, if scientists still exist or whatever, that's like the devastating implications and consequences that podcasting has had on, you know, the 21st century. He was wearing a shirt, and the shirt was like, you know how every restaurant now, like, they don't have food, they just have like a neon sign that says like, don't talk to me until I have my tacos. So it was like that kind of font, and it said, ain't it funny how the harder you work, the luckier you get. And just and maybe the average person would just see the shirt and be like, whatever. But for me, I'm like walking through the entire process of that dude, not just choosing that shirt to wear, but buying the shirt after we saw an ad on Facebook that was like, more people need to know this shit. Like more people need to see this shit for sure, dude. Imagining him putting on the shirt. Yeah, his rippling torso. Because he was quite handsome, to be honest with you. Taking off the shirt. Gay Bob Dylan be like... Yes, man. And I'm like, I guarantee you own a self-storage business. The way you're patting yourself on the back. It's true, I've won the lottery 4 times since I started working 80-hour weeks. Yes, man, I love that. That's huge. Then, like, I saw another one that I thought about, but, like, it's in the same vein, but it's more tragic than sad. Because instead of a dude wearing it, it's a lady wearing it, and it's easier to make fun of men in the current climate. Because, well, anyway, the shirt, it had the same kind of Facebook, like, targeted ad font on it. And it said, everybody you see is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And I'm like, damn, it's like a Saturday at the mall. Like, I wasn't going to go up to you and be like, hey, lady, fuck off or whatever. I was more like, maybe I would have just chosen like an earth tone or something like that. But I get people are going through it, man, which is fair. Never fuck with an iron worker who was born in February or his waitress daughter. Yes, dude. But I was also, yeah, I mean, okay, someone in chat literally just said basically the same thing. She was like in her late 40s or 50s. And I was like, yeah, we all know that, lady. Like, no disrespect, but like, did you just figure it out or whatever? Because like, I don't want to be mean, but I mean, maybe it's good, better late than never. But I did see another dude. I saw a lot of great shirts. There was another one that said, What's my plan? Hang on a second. I'm calling Jesus or something. It was similar to that. It was like, what am I going to do? Hang on. I'm asking Jesus. Shirts are back, man. You know, you see a lot of novelty shirts. You don't see very many novelty pants. I think that there must be, I mean, there's the juicy ones, don't get me wrong, but everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone's saying juicy. But like when it comes to novelty shirts, there's like a 1,000 different ones, man. American flag, but one of the stripes is a gun. American flag, but one of the stripes is a fish. I mean, there's a lot. I could go on and on, man. American flag, but all of the stripes are like paddles, indicating that you like own a lake house, I think. I'm telling you, I think there's a gap in the market for novelty pants. Who do you think is going to win on Thursday? Is it the Survivor finale already? I mean, I think Colby's got this locked up. I know a lot of people are like glazing Tina, but like, unless Colby seriously throws, I think he's got it in the bag, man. Right? VIP Daniel, back me up. Everybody loves Colby, except he shouldn't have done all that stuff with Jerry, man. He picked a poison ally. Rudy's got it? Come on, man. It's not really fair. 3 or 4 people left. They threw in a fucking physical challenge just to filter out the 75-year-old man. They were like, for the final challenge, we're going to walk up and down the stairs until you get tired. Jeff, that's not fair, man. It's literally, it doesn't count. For your final challenge, let your girl go through your phone. Oh, hell no, Jeff. No, man, no. Dude, so real. I guess. I don't know. Jeff, your ass is tweaking, man. Yes. That's devilish, man. Jigsaw. Hell no, Jigsaw. My girl going through my phone. What the hell is this? Title, Gay Hurricane. Pissing coming out on a gay night. Enter my boyfriend from the upper hall. He gives me a glass from a bowl of cum. Shouts out, my God, I've come a lot. Here comes the story of the hurricane. I'm not going to say it. It's a different song. It's a distinct song, okay? You have a child? Yeah, so does Bob Dylan, bro. He is 4. He shouldn't have said it. But he did say it to save a man's life. So that is true. Jigsaw should have hooped. Was he tall? I always thought he was short. But maybe that's just the fact that whenever I see him, he's on a children's tricycle. I don't know. I guess I got to watch like all 11 movies again. That's the puppet? I gotta think about it. I don't think he wore a mask. Buddy, have you seen his face? I guess maybe it's like makeup or whatever, but ooh, I'm pretty sure he wore a mask. He has like bullseyes on his cheeks, man. That's a doll? That's Billy the puppet? I don't know. I guess I don't know that much. I was closing my eyes during all the scary parts. Maybe I'll watch the Saw movies, but first I gotta make it through Scott's Tots without closing my eyes. Never mind. As long as we're talking about things that are impossible, how about, hang on. Gonna be something about those clowns in DC. How about the burger? Yes, man. Star is the Letterboxd game. Mods, can we unsanitize that link? It's guessmovie.me. Thank you. You just saved me from getting fished. But I always, I don't know if everybody does this. It's probably a bad sign for the internet. Whenever anybody tells me a URL, I go to Google and type the URL with spaces in between the words to make sure that the site, like Google almost sanitizes the results first. I do that too. And then you make sure that you don't click on the sponsored one, because the sponsored one is always a scam. Anxiety did not exist before this movie came out. Inside Out 2015. Devil Wears Prada for boys. I don't have an answer. Anxiety didn't exist before this movie came out. Crank 2, High Voltage. OMG, he's bald. He's bald and he's torturing people. Where'd my mouse go? He's bald and he's torturing people who have hair. Split. Oh, it's Whiplash. I had a dream that J.K. Simmons yelled at me and I woke up crying. Whiplash 2014. Oh, dun 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 dun. Man, they really don't get whiplash. That's why it's so hard to be a teacher, man. If you care too much, all of a sudden people are like, oh, you're a bad teacher or whatever. He's also not torturing people that have hair. He's teaching them how to play jazz. They should, you're not going to like this one, but it's true. They should make like a Whiplash 2 where Miles Teller graduates and realizes that like you can't make a living as a jazz drummer anymore because it's not like 1961. That's going to be a fucking rude awakening. He motherfucker crashed his car just to end up doing like data entry at an insurance company or something like that. That's fucked up. That's a real tragedy, man. I say that as somebody with also a very useless undergraduate degree, just to be clear. But how long have you been on this level? 10 hours, 23 minutes. How long have you been on this planet? I got to think about it because I'm 36. But like, isn't this one of the, you know how like the most annoying guy, well, I don't know, depends on your age. If you're around my age, did you ever have like a substitute teacher or like a French teacher? The important part is it's not a real teacher. Gym, art, music, substitute, French, whatever. That like when it was December 1999, they would be like, actually, the millennium doesn't start until the year 2001. We're all celebrating the millennium 1 year too early. 2000 is actually the end of the millennium. 2001 is the start of the new millennium. Isn't it kind of like they're right? We just unfortunately all agreed to pretend that they were wrong. But isn't that how age works too? Like when I turned 1, no, wait, it's that, no, never mind. It's when I turned 1 year old. That means I had finished 1 year on Earth. Yeah. Okay, never mind. So I've been on the Earth for 36 years and like 3 months, basically. In Korea, they do it from 1. Yeah, I know, but like honestly, normally I would sit my white ass down and listen, but they were wrong about that one. You're not 1 when you're born. It doesn't make sense. I'm getting a lot of +2s for that. They're right about a lot of things. They're right about gochujang. It's a tasty sauce. They're right about making the soups heartier so that when you finish a soup, you're not like, okay, where's the rest of my lunch? Instead, you finish the soup and you're like, that was great, I'm full. But you turn 1 on the day you're born, that just doesn't make sense to me. They did Old Boy better. Yep. Yeah, they remade Old Boy. Which it was crazy because he was 1 year older in the Korean version. But still, the movie was way better than the American original. No disrespect to Spike Lee. That is, maybe it makes sense that you're 1 when you're born, because it's like when you look up a recipe online, and they're like, it only takes 15 minutes. And then the first step is like, put the chicken in the bag with soy sauce and garlic in the fridge overnight. And you're like, that's not 15 minutes. That's like 36 fucking hours, man. I guess they should include like the prep time and the marination in the cook time as well. You're absolutely right, man. Hello, fresh ass. 36 hours overnight. Well, yeah, because like if you have a job, you're probably marinating it like Sunday afternoon, and you're not cooking it till like Monday after work. That's 24 hours. No, I don't think it is. I think you'll find that from noon on Sunday till 7 on Monday, not 24 hours. It's 30 hours. Okay, it's 30 hours then. It's not 36. Yeah. Okay, that's true. Does it matter at all? Let me guess. The millennium starts in 2001 instead of 2000. You know what? You get the kind of content that you deserve, man. There's a lot of YouTube channels that I think you would really vibe with. You're the kind of movie viewer that's like, this movie was great, but I have to give it like a 2-star because there was a pothole. Excuse me, a plot hole. We're not talking about like a movie about road construction, I guess. Dirty work. And then the plot hole ends up not actually being a plot hole. It's like, well, he said he's a vegetarian, but then in lunchtime he's eating a hamburger. And then someone is like, maybe it's a Beyond Burger. And they're like, well, I didn't say that. Annihilation ending explained. Thoughts on suspenders? I was thinking, dude, maybe this is too avant-garde. What if like one day every 2 weeks, I was like an overalls guy? Is that too far? No, yes, no shot, yes, join the club, yes. Okay, what do you think of, you think I should buy some overalls? Not to wear every day, but just like now and then. I was kind of thinking like some overalls could go crazy. No? I hadn't shaved for like 8 days. I shaved yesterday, and I did what a lot of guys do. I left a mustache for last, and for maybe the first time in my entire life, I was like, I might be at the right point in my time to rock this. Like I tried it on for like a couple of minutes, and I was looking at it, and I was like, this might actually, the world might be in the right place, and I might be in the right place for this look to work. But then I thought, no, I can't just spring that on my wife out of nowhere. It's like, your husband goes into the bathroom, and then all of a sudden he comes out like a different guy with a mustache. Like you gotta lay the groundwork for that first. Try a fake one first. But I do feel like some overalls could work. But I can't do like cool overall guy where you wear like a tank top, black tank top under the overalls, and then like you leave one of the suspenders undone and you wear like a bucket hat or something. Like I'm obviously not at that point in my life, but just doing the overalls up with it, like either a brown or like an olive or a denim overall. Could be something, man. There could be something. I don't mean to make anybody feel bad. Someone said, what about an inverse mustache? Times change, okay? So it's possible, like, if you're watching this in, like, 2031, you'll be like, why is he talking about the inverse mustache? Like, that's the hottest look right now. But here in 2025, beard but no mustache is sus. There was a time, like 2012, mustache no beard was sus. But mustache made it back, I don't know, a few years ago, and it's been rolling for a while. But definitely right now, guy with a beard who shaves his mustache is a little bit sus. But fashion changes over time, I'm told. Doesn't Bear do that? Listen, I can't be held responsible for what all of my friends do. I'm just observing trends and then wow, commenting upon them. I will also say that as a man, sometimes you just kind of like lock into a look sometime between like age 18 and 30 and just kind of like that's you forever. You kind of like you remove yourself from the system, which I also think is noble. You got other stuff to worry about. Is that you foreshadowing that you're going to play Avowed? Yep. Third-person action game with an 80 meta score. Expecting my first kid in September. Any tips? You know what I was saying? Kate's not in the chat right now. I can hear her doing important stuff upstairs. This is not really answering your question. I apologize. But I was thinking, like, you know, if I had been in the plane that flipped over in Toronto, being a parent is like crazy. And real dads will know what this is like. If I was like childless and I was in a plane crash, that would suck. But I think at least I could like come to terms with my own demise. Like I would have like 2 minutes where I could be like, this is it, make my peace, etc., etc. But you know, if my toddler's next to me on the airplane, the last like 5 minutes of my life is going to be playing the Bluey app on the fucking iPad and then trying to get to the airplane bathroom while the fucking Boeing 737 is pulling 9 Gs because she said she didn't have to go potty before we got on the airplane. And now all of a sudden the plane's crashing and she's like, I really gotta go. And so I'm like, the flight attendants are in the jump seat. I'm like, sorry, I know the seatbelt sign's like illuminated, but she's really gotta go. Like I wouldn't be able to even be at peace, man, in like my final moments or whatever. You got a bigger responsibility. Maybe it would be good. Maybe it would be like distracting, I guess. You wouldn't tell her to just hold it? Bro, she doesn't listen to me. She's marching to the beat of her own drum. I think like dying in a plane crash, don't get me wrong, it would suck. But if it like, if you were just like watching the movie and the plane crashed, that's tragic, but at least it's fast, right? And you're like not aware of what's happening. The really harrowing thing is when you read about the planes that were crashing for like 20 minutes. Like the one, I guess I shouldn't say it pisses me off, but the one that like, it pulls at your fucking psyche is that Air France one that was flying back to Paris from Brazil, and like the tubes got iced over, so they weren't able to rely on their instruments to know their altitude. So like the airplane was going like low altitude, and the pilot was like, well, I gotta pull up then. And then the other pilots woke up and were like, what the hell are you doing? We're in a stall. So they like, the plane for like half an hour was just doing this. And then, even then, like they was still going like low altitude, pull up. And they were like, why won't the plane like fly right? And it's because the co-pilot was still trying to pull it up, man. They were like, we can't get it out of the stall. It's because you got there was, okay, I don't want to be glib, but there was an imposter in the cockpit, man. Like the two of the dudes were like fixing the fucking problem, but then the last dude was like, the alarm says pull up, so I'm going to pull up. That's the shit where like, sorry, you're getting haunted like forever. Forever. You fucked us, buddy. Anyway, he was probably doing his best, but it's weird. I hope this doesn't become ironic at some point. It's like there's times where like I'm on an airplane and there's turbulence, and I'm like, I would rather the plane just disintegrated and I died almost more than like think I'm gonna crash for like half an hour and land safely, which is not rational. That's sometimes how it feels though. You're like, I would rather just be dead than like believe I'm going to die and then live. Like just to suffer and then like have to go eat at the fucking airport sushi restaurant while you're in shock or something like that. I would rather that the whole flight is just smooth and we land and everyone's happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. I don't want to feel the dread. That's true. You do probably get like a buff afterwards. Like people were saying, oh, I bet the people on that plane yesterday that flipped over, they're like going to be so insufferable about that for the rest of their lives. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I would be. It mogs almost any other story that you've ever, like, that you could tell. Of course I would be telling that story every day. You earned it. Your plane flipped upside down and the wings fell off. And you fucking made it to the airport, man. I'd be telling the story 18 times a day to the same people who have already heard it. And you can't get tired of it. If you're like, oh, here we go, the airplane crash story again. I'll be, oh, sorry, it doesn't hold a candle to the time a dude cut you off in traffic and fucking nothing happened, but you got angry. Your plane crash is not your personality. Damn, like, no, we get it. Like, I get, no, it must have been like pretty crazy, but like, I'm just sort of like sick of hearing about it. Like, I'm talking about my day, and then he comes in like, oh, yeah, that reminds me of the time my plane fucking flipped over, the wings came off, and the whole bitch was on fire. I survived the plane crash like 20 years ago. It's all I talk about. I 100% I would be in the exact same boat, man. I had someone that lived on my dorm in university was in I think it was another Air France flight in Toronto that like, it was very big news in Canada, maybe like 04 or 05. It landed, but wasn't able to stop before the end of the runway. So it skidded off the runway and they had to do like an emergency evac or whatever. And this was like not a particularly insane, like it's a crash, don't get me wrong. It's not a particularly insane plane crash. But hearing him tell the story, I was like, damn, like you'd carry that with you for the rest of your life. There you go, see? Yada, yada, yada. It overran the runway, crashed into Etobicoke Creek. All passengers survived, but 12 people sustained serious injuries. And that's like, I mean, it's as good as it gets, but... Oh, he was great at telling the story, too. You're absolutely right. Like, he had obviously, this was like probably the 500th time he's told the story. Turbulence does piss me off, though. Like, literally, just go around, bro. Any pilots in here? I don't get it, man. Don't they have like radar up in the front that's like it's gonna be bumpy? I think and maybe I don't blame the pilots, but I bet that there's times where they're like, shit's gonna be fucking bumpy today. We could go around, but that'll mean we use like 15% more jet fuel, which will make this flight unprofitable. So we're just gonna fucking send it, as long as it's safe. If it's safe but uncomfortable, I'm sure they just send it. Wrong? Okay, well fucking, what airline do you fly for? Show me. Yeah, I think they're showing off, man. This shit also pisses me off, because like, I get it, you're in fucking seat A, row 0. So you don't even fucking feel that shit. I'm in 34, man. I'm at the back of the fucking CRJ 800 or whatever. That shit is like, whoa, it's like being the last train on Splash Mountain, man. I'm getting soaked back there. I fly Spirit. We don't even have controls up there. We just have an iPad. That's fucking sick, man. That is cool. I do love when I'm at the airport and you walk by like the Spirit or the Allegiant gates and they're like, if you didn't check in online, it's a $50 fee to check in at the airport. I'm like, damn, dude, that's ballsy. That's crazy. I get that's. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to blame the consumer in this one, but it's like, you know, you really thought you were flying, you know, $50 round trip from Seattle to Las Vegas. They're gonna have to get you some way, one way or the other, man. They're flying that shit with the Lenovo ThinkPad mouse. No, bro, not the clit in the cockpit, man. You can't be doing that. That's well, I don't know, but people have been using those for like like 30 years at this point. So maybe there's something to it. I still think I'm playing all the hits today. I still think it's crazy that every time you go into a hotel shower, you feel like a motherfucker that got like abducted onto an airplane and has to figure out how to use the machine all over again. We're like literally we're in an era where like your fucking fridge has like a touchscreen on it. That's like, what temperature do you want it? Here's the shit that's inside of your fridge, blah, blah, blah. You show up at the fucking Marriott hotel shower and it's like 2 stainless steel knobs. And they usually you figure it out after like a couple of minutes of, you know, experimentation, but still. You can't just have a display that's like, I would like my water to be this temperature. Give me a dial. You know the shit that pisses me off? The shower dial, they usually can rotate like 540 degrees, right? It goes all the way around once and then again half. But then the cold and hot display only goes for like 15 degrees, man. So you fucking turn the knob from all the way on the C to all the way on the H. You wait 15 seconds and the shit is like ice water. And you're like, well, it's pointing to the fucking H, man. And then you're like, oh, yeah, you have to go past the H all the way around and then stop on the H again. Fucking master lock ass shower head. Okay, maybe this is not how plumbing works, but you don't need the cold. Okay, if Andrew Huberman's in the chat, maybe you need the cold, but like the rest of us, we don't need, the shower does not need the cold function. Why is it 90% ice, 10% palatable? Just make it all palatable, man. You need the cold? No, I don't buy it. I don't think you're taking cold showers. Wim Hof ass. You need the cold for the warm? Okay, Jason Lee and Vanilla Sky. What are you talking about? I can't even follow. I've clearly struck a nerve. I'd like to apologize. The chip has disappeared from the table. The chip is gone. You're in the pocket of Big Hot. I don't know, man. I'm stunned. It's a live. Well, I need like a catchphrase or something. I'm really working on my Jerry Seinfeld type comedy today. You think it's a good thing that every fast food restaurant now has a sign that says we will not tolerate verbal abuse of our employees? Have I done this one before? I'm still trying to refine it. No, I'm not going to method act to become Jerry Seinfeld. Paddington and Fozzie? Who's topping? It's got to be Fozzie. Paddington strikes me a bit as like a pillow princess. Fozzie's a goofy-ass bottom. Yeah, but there's like someone's got a top, right? I think. I don't really know. Maybe nobody has the top. We were trying to tease this out in Chib's chat. Because I was saying, what happens if 2 bottoms go on a date, but they both order a salad? Like, doesn't one of them go, no, you should have the skyline chili or something like that. You should have the ribs, man. You should have the ribs. No, I had ribs last week. I just really feel like having a salad tonight. Then everyone went crungo, etc., etc. And I was like, I'm just asking, I'm using it as a metaphor to learn, man. I have a theory that the funnier you are, the more of a bottom you are. Justin, that's interesting. Man, I don't know. I'm running the bits through the filter to see if they're problematic, but they're getting so complicated that I don't know if they're problematic anymore. Because what I was going to say is that if I were gay, I think I would be a bottom because I'm just kind of like a go with the flow sort of guy. But then I was like, maybe that's problematic. Maybe it's the bottoms who are actually the ones that are like defining the interaction. I don't know. Because my heteronormative thinking is that everybody wants the top. But I think I might have it backwards. I don't know. Or is there like an equilibrium? Is it 50-50? Is it like 2/3, 1/3, or what? I mean, Justin, listen, I need someone to back me up here. Otherwise, I'm going to get marooned on a fucking island. But like, as a penis haver, you get it. I think if I had the choice, I would rather like take a break from time to time. It's a lot of pressure, man. There's a lot of responsibility that falls on your shoulders. You know, I'm not complaining, but like, there's times where you're like, you know, sometimes you want to be the first star of the game. Sometimes you want to just get a couple secondary assists, you know? Falls on your shoulders. Yes, man, yes. Like sometimes you want to take the face-offs and sometimes you just want to, you know, be a facilitator on the power play. I'm a huge man. People's expectations for a linebacker of a top is unreal. I can't be doing all that. Dude, I didn't even think about that. But I'm sure you encounter some individuals that are like, they're expecting you to kind of like fuck them up. That's messed up. That's not okay, man. That's a hurtful stereotype. You know what? I know some of my own personality flaws, at least. I'm deriving way too much meaning from putting the fucking chip in the cup while talking about like gay sex, right? You know what it is, though? Is that we're increasingly living in a world where adults are willfully and unwillfully being infantilized, and their favorite movie is like the Lego Batman movie, and I'm like, you're 31 years old, and nobody else on the website is talking about real shit like this. It's just us, man. This is a normal adult conversation. But because we're not talking about Puss in Boots, The Last Wish or something like that, people are like, is this TOS? Buddy, your granddad was flying Spitfires for the RAF in the Battle of Britain. He thought he was going to fucking die, okay? Just put the chip in the cap and tell me whether there's more bottoms or tops, because I don't know. And has it changed over time? Like in 2006, was there a top surplus, but now there's more bottoms? That might be my hypothesis, but what do I know? There's more bottoms and it's pretty evergreen. Okay, all right. Interesting to know. Interesting. You turned into Red Hulk? Yeah, I don't know. I think. What about the switches? I think that's like, you know, it's like Flex and Overwatch, right? Like you're taking advantage of the fact that like you can you probably like improve your rank as a result, right? I will say it's really funny. So I get served a lot. I mean, this is probably why I want to buy overalls. Because I get served like a lot of male fashion subreddit content. And also like r/ like beard advice or something like that. And it gets me every time that someone will post like, here's like 4 facial hairstyles. And without fail, every single time, someone is like, the top comment usually is like, if you're straight, go with 3. If you're gay, go with 2. And I look at the photos and I'm like, I can see that. But it is interesting, isn't it? I'm more on that r/ mold kick right now. People will post a picture of a bagel with a fuck ton of spores on it and be like, is this safe to eat? Oh. Okay, you might say you threw too fast. I wanted to throw before I got in my own head because that was a clean setup. How much courtroom drama is in 12 Angry Men? It's my least favorite genre. Jay, you're not going to believe this. 1% of 12 Angry Men takes place in a courtroom. And I might even say there's 0 court drama. 11 angry dudes, 1 based guy. Excuse me, there's more than 1 based. I know we went through this before. Juror 8 is obviously based. Juror 2, I don't know if I'd say based, but I don't have like a huge problem with them. Juror number 4 is still based. He just had a higher burden of proof than some of the other individuals. Juror number 11, the watchmaker, is also based. Juror 985, okay, I like that. Anyone ever said that before? Juror number 7 is kind of based. He just wanted to watch baseball. Well, here's the thing. I think it's okay to be like, hey, let's just get out of here. The Yankees are playing Cleveland. But if that's the case, you have to vote not guilty. You can be like, let's wrap this shit up, not guilty. But you can't be like, let's wrap this shit up, give the kid the chair. That's too far. If the baseball game takes priority, you got to acquit. If you're going to see a hit, you must acquit. It rhymes, ergo it must be true. You ever wonder what the court police officer was doing outside the door for like the whole fucking time? Like, all the dudes inside the room are complaining about how long it's taken. But, like, the dude outside the door, literally, he's just, like, standing there for hours. Every once in a while, they're like, can you bring in a drawing? And he's like, oh, thank God, finally, something to do. You don't even got AirPods in or nothing. That's what I'm saying, man. 12 horny men. That would be a fucking sick movie, man. What I'm picturing is that, like, the first, like, 10 minutes, so the jury goes into the room, and they close the door, and then you watch, like, a little conversation between the two police officers who are guarding the door, and then they go, oh, they've been in there for a little while, let's just make sure, maybe they're getting hungry, and then they open the door, and it's just, I don't think you need me to tell you what's going on in the room. I think we'll leave that up to the storyboarders. And then they go, all right, and they strip down and they jump into it. It's like that Lemmy photo where, you know, well, maybe not the one you're thinking of, the other one. And then there's like it fades to black and there's like a transition back to the courtroom and the judge is like, have you made your decision? And then the jury foreman stands up and goes, yes, we, the men of the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder. And the next scene is him. At the end. Yep, they still found him guilty. They gave him the chair. No, he's not on the Sibian. This is a man's life, man. This isn't the Howard Stern show. Juror number 8 on the fucking Joe Rogan podcast. But you think he did it? Sorry, the 12 Angry Men Joe Rogan experience. That would be a good episode. That would be a good episode. Because I'll be honest, based on the evidence presented, it seems like he did do that shit, to be honest. But that's not the point. The point is that the kid's lawyer was fucking horrible. The kid's lawyer sucked ass. It's like a making a murderer situation. Like, he probably did that shit, but Manitowoc County's still gotta pay the toll. Juror number 1 does look like the have you seen this man poster. He does, man. He fucking does. He's got the thick ass eyebrows and the thinning hair. Millions of people have dreamed this man's face. Have you ever dreamt this man? Yes, dude. When he's giving that fucking speech halfway through the movie. Oh, I haven't told you yet. I'm a professional dream haunter. You might need to have seen the movie very recently to follow all of this. I saw it like not but 4 hours ago, so I watched The Shining yesterday. It fucking sucks. Dude, you can't say, Kate was saying the same thing. She was like, why do so many people like this movie? And I was like, yo, keep it down. In my generation, that's like 10% of people's favorite movie. I think The Shining is good, but I also think my wife has a great point that the twist of red rum being murder backwards probably hit like a lot harder in 1970 than it does in like the 2020s. Like, I'm sure if you were in the theater in 1970, you were probably like, oh my God. Something nefarious is happening in this hotel. Holy crap. But like in 2024, it feels a little, you're like, okay, yeah, it's murder backwards. What does it mean? I didn't really put respect on the hedge maze either until I saw that episode of the cooking show with Seth Rogen where they go to Stanley Park and they get lost in the hedge maze. And Kate and I have done that hedge maze and it's literally like, it takes like a minute and a half to get out. You just, they get lost in it for like an hour or something. Yeah, I've been to a real corn maze. Did you make do? Listen, buddy. You appear to me have... Whatever. Can you do some straight jokes? I don't know. I think they've all been said, man. I wouldn't know, because you're supposed to joke about what you know. Straight jokes? I don't know, man. Did I already tell the joke about why do so many men wear shirts these days that look like Dr. Bronner's soap bottles? I think I already did that one. That is true. That is true. Straight guys, my impression of a straight guy. Hang on, let me just double check with my wife. Oh, man. Favorite romance film? That's tough. I'd have to say probably like Death Race. Oh! I just screamed and scared my coworker. Bro, you can't be reacting to second monitor content at the office in this kind of labor market, man. You gotta you gotta give the appearance at least of being locked in. God. You can watch it. I'm glad you're watching it. I'm just saying you gotta, like, you know, protect yourself. I'm a U.S. federal employee. Okay, well, you gotta do whatever you gotta do right now. I'm not gonna condescend to you about how you should be behaving at the office. That's fucked. You just gotta, I don't know. I bet you got some crazy group chats going on right now. Tax season been kind of slow for me. I'm telling you, I don't think anybody's paying that shit this year, man. I think they've decided that we're fucking done with that nonsense. I mean, I don't live in the U.S., but like, if they're gonna fire the whole IRS, that shit's like a when I get to it type situation. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying it doesn't surprise me maybe that it's a bit of a slow season. That's true. Tax humor is big straight guy humor. Whenever I interface in a social situation with dads, it is like T minus 10 minutes until taxes come up. And can I really fuck with you? It's usually me that brings it up. Because it's like putting Ichiro Suzuki as the leadoff hitter in the lineup. It's a guaranteed base hit, man. And once you got a runner on base, then you can start to play around a little bit with the strategy, you know? That's true. Next year is going to be fantasy football. Although this cohort, they seem a little bit more of a basketball group, which is really tough for me because I was saying shit to you guys on Thursday. I was saying Jokic is a height merchant. People were like, he doesn't know ball at all. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Scoring points seems really good. Getting assists doesn't seem that like you're just passing the ball. I don't get it, man. I never want to see another clip that's like, look at this amazing assist in the NBA. You're so dumb. They're just, I don't know what you want me to say. He holds the ball over his head like this, and then the other dude goes like, and then he goes like, and just he like sky hooks it to somebody else who scores a three-pointer, and then everyone's like, oh, Jokic is so good, man. He didn't do anything. He's just tall. I feel like you guys, you don't understand advanced stats. You're just following the eye test. Look up his points per game. Yeah, I could score 28 points a game if I was 8'3", man. If he really wanted to impress me, he should do that shit at like 5'9". Then I'd be like, damn, this guy's crazy. How would he do that? That's what I'm saying, dude, because he's a height merchant. He's got a high basketball IQ. Yeah, I know, you know. He's a real, like, good head and shoulders glue guy, student of the game. Real gym rat. He's the first one in the gym, the last one out. I know. I just feel like he wouldn't be that good at basketball if he was shorter. How short would you have to be for it to be a bonus in the NBA instead of a detriment? Because like 5'8" in the NBA, that's a detriment. But if you were like 2.5 inches tall, you would be unstoppable, man. You wouldn't score too many points, but like no one's stopping you on the break. Let's put it that way. Like Stuart Little would go fucking insane on the hard court, man. You would get stepped on and die? Yeah, that's a foul. That's 2 from the line. If my team wants me to bleed, I'll bleed, man. Tony Parker was under 6 foot and he won some championships. Yeah, Longoria merchant. Eva Longoria merchant. You know what society hasn't invented in a while? Like a new kind of ice cream treat. I feel like we're still coasting off like the banana split, peanut buster, parfait type shit. Drumstick or Magnum bar? I'm more of a world cone type of motherfucker. What is it? It's a drumstick now that I think about it. I was gonna be like, oh, it's like vanilla ice cream with chocolate chips in it in a cone, but then when you get to the bottom, there's like chocolate at the bottom of the cone. I was like, wait a minute, that's a fucking drumstick, dude. Blizzard daughter or McFlurry son? Blizzard daughter, kind of a cursed sentence. That being said, the Blizzard clears the McFlurry easily. You're done with the McFlurry by like the third bite. You're always like, oh, I'd like to have a McFlurry. And then after the third bite, you're like, that's enough. I'm not even talking about the fuck-ass spoon they give you that looks like a straw. The Blizzard at the end, it's still moreish. You're still like, I wish it was a little bigger. Now you're going to talk about the chicken breast? No, I was going to see if the world was finally ready for the bubble tea idea that I came up with like 8 years ago that everyone said I was stupid for coming up with. It's bubble tea, but instead of like bubble tea, it's soup in a bubble tea cup. Because the straws are like thick as hell. You could have like little diced pieces. You could have like a cup full of chicken noodle soup. Put some like diced carrots, diced chicken breast in there. A herbed broth. No, it's still not ready. One day you're going to be drinking it and you're going to be like, he was right. He was right. And you could like order, they could be like, how much salt do you want? I'll be like, I'll take 70% salt, 50% broth. I get a chicken noodle soup with a beef stock. So I'm just thinking about it. People love to make choices at restaurants. There's 52 different flavor combinations. Dude, yeah, you could have like, oh, I'll take the limited time offer. We got the bulldog ramen boba soup. That shit would go crazy on Instagram, man. Not the Kitchen Nightmares reference. I also been getting served a lot of r/Kitchen Nightmares, which is, I love it. Because every single post is just a picture of like someone from the show, like the chef or the restaurant owner, like a server. And then the headline is like a quote from them on the show. So it'll be like, I thought it was gross when Chef Ramsay put his finger in the chicken. And it'll be like a picture of the waitress and it'll have 700 upvotes. And I'm like, damn, these guys are really Kitchen Nightmares diehards, huh? I love Kitchen Nightmares. That's why I love the fucking subreddit, man. But I'm like, I gotta watch the episodes again. Diamonds on my fish. Yes, man. Diamonds on my fish. I've got 2 words for you. Prozac. Chef David at Burger Kitchen, the rush is in, but Chef David Blaine has done a little bit of a disappearing act. I've got 2 words for you, lady. Prozac. What instrument makes that fucking sound on Kitchen Nightmares? Where like when the food comes out, it goes like, you know what I'm talking about? Yes, dude. The way, hang on. That's it. 1-to-1. Absolutely. That is the isolated sound effect in its entirety. So when he gets brought the fucking chicken scallopini or whatever, and it's all the same color. Jay, are you still here? Have you seen the episode at the Brooklyn Pizzeria where he renovates it with the most fuck-ass, like, 2009 interior design of all time? Like, it's a restaurant in New York, but he rips out, like, all the I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it as a non-interior designer. But like, it has character. It's like a family-run restaurant. It's got like dim lighting and like pictures of the family on the walls and stuff like that. And he rips it all out and puts like subway tile in and like a stencil font like Brooklyn Pizzeria and then pictures of New York on the walls for a restaurant that's in New York City. It gets me every time, man. And they're like, wow, it looks really modern. Like that shit would work in like Edmonton. If you went to like Brooklyn Pizzeria in Edmonton and there was a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge, you would be like, I get it, but you're in Brooklyn, man. You don't need that. You're there. Are you a bar rescue guy? Yeah, when I can watch it without having to deal with the 80 minutes of Paramount ads. It is spiritually evil. I think I don't care. I'm not St. Peter. I have the luxury of not being St. Peter, okay? So it's possible that John Taffer has a pure spirit, but he looks like a deeply evil man. And I don't even think, like, I think it's just like seeing a picture of him, even without hearing him talk, you would just be like, that man is evil. I don't know. It's really not fair, but like, there's just something about his physical appearance that like, he looks a little evil. Sorry. I was in the middle of the bit, but then I remembered that like I exist and you're watching me do this, and I freaked the fuck out for a second. I lost confidence in the John Taffer bit. Little voice in my head was like, you're real. And I was like, oh shit. Is it Germa bit? This shit is pissing me off, man. I thought he retired. How does he still have all the bits? This must be how people felt about the fucking Beatles, man. They were only around for like 8 years, but they made every song. They did all the good songs already. You know what's actual straight guy humor? Don't you love it when your wife asks you what time it is and you get to take a free chance at gaining aura by telling her what time it is before you look at your clock and then looking at the clock, and if you're within like a few minutes being like, see? I love that shit. I love when Kate's like, what time is it? And I'm like, 3:15. And then I take my phone out and it's like 3:29. And I'm like, nailed it.
What time is it?
About 6:30, or sorry, 7:30, 7:35.
Gay guys do that too? Fuck, man! We can't have shit! I'm finding out being proud of your internal clock is not a straight guy thing. It's not tied to your sexual preference now. I'm a lesbian and I do it? What do you want me to say? I just tried to have one thing. I just tried to have one little thing. Not allowed to have one little thing anymore? Work on your twos. Dave Portnoy to Haley Welch before he gave her the podcast deal. You see her like in the sketch, you see her like in the mirror. Two. Hawk. Two. Two. And then like shaking her head. There's like, she's scribbling two on a piece of paper and then like, no, crumpling it up and throwing it behind her. And there's like a stack of fucking crumpled yellow legal paper behind her. Then finally, she shows up and she's like nervous. Show me what you got. Tua! Better on that thing. You guys think you would, if you went to a film festival, you think you would like participate in those like 15-minute long standing ovations for the Joker or whatever? For Joker, yes. For anything else, probably not. I think that's probably the play. I feel like we have like a bit of standing ovation inflation. It's kind of like tipping, right? Because like a tip used to be like, oh, this was great service, here's some extra money. And then it became standard. So it was like, oh, if you tip like 20%, it's like great service. 10 is like bad service. But now it's like 20% is like, usually has like a big frowny face on the card reader or whatever. I feel like if you just get a regular ovation these days, you're like, damn, they're not fucking with me. Like my wife, she's A in chat, but also B, she's an oboist. So she'd be playing with these orchestras, right? Or these symphonies. And I'll be honest, I don't fully know the diff. I think an orchestra is like, it's like a protected term. It's like you have to have a certain number of each kind of instrument, more or less. And then the symphony is just kind of like, you know, it's like when you get sparkling wine instead of champagne. It's like it's in the, they got the spirit, but it's not hidden all the check boxes or whatever. But anyway, after every classical music performance, there's an ovation, and then like 3 people stand up, and then everybody else stands up and they get a standing ovation. But like, it's not that they didn't deserve a standing ovation, but if you give them a standing ovation every time, then we need like a jumping up and down ovation or something like that. Because the standing ovation has lost all its meaning. Guy who rates all of his movies 5 stars on Letterboxd. Okay, why don't you go to my 5 stars and tell me which ones you got an issue with? You don't think 5 Angry Men deserves 5 stars? You don't think fucking Jaws deserves 5 stars? 5 Angry Men? Sorry, no spoil. I'm only halfway through. I'm only 3 seconds into the movie. Jaws, 5 stars is crazy. It's an insanely good movie. You've lost your mind. I did not think The Substance deserves a 4.5. Can I be honest with you? At the risk of sounding like a coward who should probably just trust his initial opinion on The Substance, I think I was overly titillated and exhilarated by the third act. And I said, oh, I really like how they stuck the landing. The more time that goes on, the more I'm like, I should have given The Substance a 3.5. I still think it's good, but the more I think about it and the more scrutiny I place it under in my mind, the more I find out that I think it's not quite as good as I originally thought. West Side Story of 3 is crazy. Ansel Elgort in the chat. Ansel Elgort, charisma vacuum. And West Side Story 2020, 3 stars, too much singing. Thoughts on my favorite movie being National Treasure? Dead ass, you probably make like $250,000 a year. You're so fucking normal. That pisses me off, man. Favorite movie, National Treasure. Grown ass man, probably. What matters more? Rating after initial viewing or rating after thinking about it for a while? It doesn't matter. All ratings are merely an attempt to capture a complicated series of thoughts at a moment in time. And it changes second to second, day to day. You might give it a 3 if you're hungry. You might give it a 4 if you're satiated. Just try not to be too serious about it. That's pretty good, man. Ratatouille review when I'm full? What the fuck? This is a health code violation. I don't want to eat that shit if it's cooked by a rat, to be honest. I think you're absolutely right. He can follow his dreams or whatever. I just think they should, like, let me know before I go to the restaurant. I'll be like, hey, is the rat cooking tonight? That's true. Now that I think about it, he's not really cooking. He's directing the man to put the fries in the bag. Maybe it's okay then. I never really thought about that. I'm not trying to get into an argument of like what's cooking and what's not. I'm more saying like his little rat hands are not like touching the parsley and shit. He has like a man robot that does his bidding, which is fine. Oh, he does touch this shit. Well, if the food's good enough, if the food's fire, sure, whatever. I felt something. I felt like a lightning bolt hit me in the left side of my abdomen. Because you know what that means? That means I was attached to that one. That means I really wanted that one. It means you're human. Is the doctor, the neurologist from Garden State, the worst doctor of cinema history? Ignoring, like, I don't know, Dr. Zhivago or something? Dr. Moreau is like stitching humans and animals together to create hybrid creatures or whatever. Either way, dude comes in and he's like, yeah, I'm 31 years old or whatever. And sometimes I get headaches that feel like a lightning bolt is hitting me in the center of my brain. And he goes, don't sweat it. Try to relax this week. Thanks for nothing, bitch. Yeah, but Doc Ock killed hella people. All right, but it's a 2-horse race. Did he kill that many people? The Green Goblin was definitely... I guess he killed all those doctors who were installing the arms on him. He pretty much kills everybody in the room immediately. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, like basically the second he becomes Dr. Octopus, his first act is killing him. The whole room. Yeah, that's true. Because I was thinking like the Green Goblin, he was like throwing those pumpkin grenades and shit, but I thought Doc Ock kind of like, he was causing a kerfuffle, don't get me wrong, but... Nah, but yeah, he's a bad guy. I mean, I get it was the arms, but he built the arms, so like... Here's what they think about you. Yes, sir. Spider-Man diss track. Heard you was down with the AK. Now I see you at the Thanksgiving dinner with Aunt May, looking like a straight bozo. You ever see, you ever listen to music? One thing I never really thought about it. As a kid, I was like 13, so this is a little embarrassing, but I was like a little scared of the Green Goblin. I'd be like, I'm glad, like, there's no Green Goblin in real life. Sorry, the punchline is already making me laugh. It's like, that would be bad, man, if he was around. Like, what would we do? But then when you're older, like, why didn't they just shoot him with a missile or something? Like, couldn't the military just, like, hit him with a fucking missile and kill him in, like, a second? He dodged it? Bro, they could shoot down other fighter jets. There's no shot that fuck-ass glider is pulling, like, 12 Gs. Just target him with the missile. That shit could take down like a F-18 Hornet or something. It can't take down his shitty little glider in a city? Well, he was upstate from time to time. Was he? Yeah, like at the Macy Gray concert or whatever. Was in Times Square? Really? Hang on, I just gotta ask. You fell off, dude. This is the weakest gaming content I've ever seen. First off, you were not born to your parents to type the phrase gaming content in the chat. That's going on your permanent record. You can bring that up when you see the face of our Lord upon the conclusion of your life. I'm not saying you should go to hell for saying it. I'm just saying, like, when he says any regrets, that might be maybe not top of mind, but in the honorable mentions. Secondly, how old are you? Because you typed the phrase gaming content. I need to know. 16? All right, that's fine then. You know, can't be mad for a dog biting you. It's in his nature. It's my fault for having the pepperoni in my pocket. dlguiga alt account? Yeah, Peloton sub-community. dlguiga's not fucking with us anymore, man. What happened to dlguiga? Oh, he had a kid. He's busy. It's finals week. He's not 17. He's a grown adult that is not pretending to be a 30-year-old man. I haven't seen dlguiga in a bit, man. Let me see what he typed in the last time he typed in chat. February 7th, 2025. Last message. Mazdas have screens. What are you talking about? To one day before. Ice cream over gelato? No shot. Okay, he's still around. He's still around. All right. He's still fucking with us a little bit. I appreciate that. He's on the board of Doge now. Is that like a euphemism? Like he's dead? Nah, I just don't want to know the truth. But yes, I take ice cream over gelato, to be honest. What's the difference? I mean, it's subtle for sure. I just feel like, is it insane to say that ice cream is creamier? Here's the thing. Gelato, to me, is like when you have like the mushroom haircut. That's what the scoop looks like. And then ice cream is when you have the mushroom haircut, but while your hair is wet, you put a beanie over top so the ends like curl up and it gets that little ruffle around the bottom, like Shakespeare's neck. And I don't know, the ruffle sometimes it makes the whole dessert for me. Don't get me wrong, a lot of European stuff is better than North American stuff. Like movies. No, wait. Hang on. TV. No, definitely not. Music. I mean, are you serious? Maybe in like the 1700s or something. A lot of food. Bread for sure, for the most part. Bread for sure. I'll give you bread. Soccer teams. That's probably a freebie. Yeah. But public trans. Okay, well now you're hurting my feelings. Public trans is definitely true. Culture. I don't know. The culture is pretty good over here, man. Have you seen the novelty T-shirts? What public holiday are you most excited for? Easter's pretty good. You mean like now or you mean annually? The answer is almost always whichever one's coming up next. And I think Easter's the next big one in Canada, at least. I don't know if the rest of the world celebrates it. Talk Like a Pirate? When is Talk Like a Pirate Day, dude? I gotta get sorted for that one. Is Talk Like a Pirate one of those ones that's like, it's celebratory, or is it more like a solemn type of holiday? Because I prefer the ones where you don't have to think too much. Oh, it's today, me laddie. No! Good. Dude, what about A Christmas Carol, but it's Ebenezer Scrooge doesn't respect Talk Like a Pirate Day? Good, then 'tis fine, then I haven't missed it. First matey, what day is it? What day be it? just talk like a pirate day, Captain. That would be good, man. What's the song from the end of Muppet Christmas Carol? And a friendly heart. You could do that. It could totally work, man. Ozempic Scrooge, yes, man. Dirty ass Captain Jack Sparrow, gangrenous fucking shins, scurvy ass fucking lice riddled mustache. I don't like Captain Jack Sparrow, but you have heard of him? Shut up. I don't like that guy. You ever think about how insane the names of the cast of Pirates of the Caribbean are? Orlando Bloom. That's a fucking crazy name, man. And then they follow it up. Guess what? You thought I was done, bitch? Keira Knightley. Holy cow. Surely they don't have a third. Johnny Depp. when you totally run out of bits your first day back on stream. Jeffrey Rush. Did you forget about Jeffrey Rush? Oh, yeah, but surely the director doesn't have a crazy name. Oh, let me introduce you to Gore Verbinski. Anyway, or whatever. Penelope Cruz? She's not in the first one, man. She's not in the first one. You guys think we should try to nuke that asteroid or whatever? Nah. All right, it's chill. I just think, like, why not try? Because, like, what's the worst case scenario? You're going to miss and, like, hit Mercury or something like that? Big whoop. It would be kind of crazy if, like, you ever consider, like, if there are hyper-intelligent, futuristic alien civilizations out there, and they've invented, like, weapons that can travel across the universe by compressing space-time and folding it over, so, like, rather than traveling the distance they would have to travel, which might take like millions of years, instead, you know, it just is in that position because they've moved space around it. And like, do you ever think like, what if our planet got like wiped out by just like a misfire or so, like a training exercise or something like that? I'd be pissed, man. You'd be dead? Yeah, but like in heaven, I'd be pissed. I would haunt their asses for sure. It'd be freaky, because, like, I don't even know how you haunt an alien, because I don't know what they find scary. And I don't know if, like, ghosts travel at the same speed as, like, a normal man, so it might take me, like, 1 trillion years. Well, I guess I probably can't. Is the universe expanding faster than the average human being's walking pace? Or is it like continental drift, where it's like a millimeter a year or something? It's expanding faster than the speed of light? That doesn't really... You might be able to trick some people with that, but for me... I don't know. I can smell. I've got a pretty good bullshit detector. That just doesn't pass the smell test, brother. Do your own research. So true. The Facebook anti-NASA astrophysicists doing their own research, building their own fucking James Webb telescope and shit. That would be fucking good, man. Sending their own probes, like, into the Kuiper Belt and shit. Turns out there's, like, 3% more benzene than we originally hypothesized. Interesting. Science is so fucking boring. I'm sorry. It's very important. But that was like me, like my second year of university. Is the first year they're basically just teaching you like the high school science over again, and then in the second year they're like, and as you can see, when you manipulate the sample, there's 3 micrograms of guanine in it, and I'm like, that shit is not what I signed up for, bro. I thought we were gonna be like, I don't even know. I thought we were gonna be creating like a superhero or something. Just put the agar on the plate, bro. Just put the fly nap on the Q-tip. Yeah, fellow biology major. It was fucked up, too, because I failed my genetics lab. Because they have... it's because I'm too woke. Because they have you put the flies to sleep, and then you're supposed to look at them and be like, you know, you sex the flies. You say which ones are male, which ones are female. Every single one I wrote down, it's not for me to say. How would I know? I have never spoken to them. And they said, guess what, buddy? 0. Here's a 0 for you. Sometimes being on the right side of history, it takes courage. He won't do it. He's woke. I can't do it. I'm woke. Nah, to be honest, I did pass the class, but I was not good at that shit. I still remember the craziest bio lab we had was like, I mean, listen, I'm not anti-science. I just think it's funny to pretend to be anti-science, although it's increasingly becoming less funny due to like the real world. But we did a lab where it was like we were studying locusts. So first, you take like I mean, there's a little bit of violence in this story, but they are bugs, so just chill. So first, you would like take a locust and you would basically cut its head off, and you would take its tissue and process it in such a way that you could do an analysis of its metabolites and see if it was like, you know, how much adrenaline did it have in its body at this time? And you'd be like, about the base level, because it didn't know what the fuck was going on, because his brain is like the size of an atom. And then you would take like another locust. This is real. I swear it to you. You would throw the locust in one of those big garbage cans that's probably like 3 or 4 feet tall, and you would beat the shit out of the garbage can with a yardstick just to distress the locust. And they were hopping around like fucking... They were not pleased. Like, they were insanely agitated in there. And then you would, you know, recapture the locust and cut its head off and then analyze its metabolites. And you'd be like, oh, wow, this one appeared to have more adrenaline at the time of its death. Yeah, man. But sometimes you, like, fuck up the lab. You gotta, like, do it again. And you're like, damn. There's no shot bugs have ghosts. Because if I was a bug and you cut off my fucking head after torturing me, and you fucked up the data so you didn't even learn anything from it, because your ass was like not paying attention to the method that they laid out for you, I would be haunting your ass forever for sure. So I'm kind of on the fence about human ghosts, but bugs 100% do not have a soul. I proved something that they didn't expect me to prove in that lab. Bugs don't have spirits. Or the ones that I fucked up were like very noble. They were like, it happens or whatever. Does Canada suck at hockey now? The country doesn't suck at hockey really, but our goalies are not as good as we need them to be. Once this trade war shit blows over, we need to seriously start like the Manhattan Project of goalies. Like we need I'm sorry! Desperate times call for desperate measures. We need Patrick Waugh to father a child with Manon Roomet, okay? That kid is a lock! A lock! 10 Vezinas, okay? Bennington did fine. He's got an 897 save percentage, man. We're not beating Hellebuck with those numbers. Bro's got a 2.6 goals against average. And no disrespect, his mental is bad. He's too tiltable. And Americans are like the most tilting people on the planet. So I don't like his odds in net, man. I don't like his odds in net. Weak mental versus two Kachucks. He's cooked, man. We need the Bene Gesserit goalie. We need it. Wayne Brady at hockey or Wayne Gretzky at improv. This might sound absolutely insane. Just looking at Wayne Brady. Well, first off, Wayne Gretzky, I'm sure is going to be ass at improv. I don't think he can yes end at all. But the second thing I'm going to say is like, Wayne Brady gives off the vibe of someone who knows how to skate. Maybe it's like the tangential intersection of improv, theater, and figure skating. I believe that Wayne Brady can skate. That gives him a chance. There's no shot he played Division I hockey. He wouldn't have time between that and the second city. Like Ryan Stiles looks like he can skate. Colin Mockery can skate, doesn't look like he can skate. And then the dude with Justin, you know the guy, Greg Proops, no shot. That dude, he's not even. He's gonna need his dad to tie the skates for him. That's a good question. Lil Wayne, ice hockey or Wayne Gretzky rapping. I'd have to go with Wayne Gretzky rapping because in the Upgrade You freestyle, Lil Wayne says, put a MFer on ice like the Maple Leafs. That's a hockey team, and I ain't know no hockey teams, but I'm a champion. Where's my frickin' Rocky theme? Skirt. Peel off in the Lamborghini. Got the industry shaking like a tambourine, with lips like Angelina Jolie. Anyway, long story short, I don't think he knows how to skate based on that. Lil Jon in a duel or Little John in a rap battle? I got to think about that. Honestly, I feel like having experienced medieval music through movies, there's no shot Little John is going to do a rap battle. Like all the shit they do with the lyre and the lute and stuff like that, there's no shot that's going to play in the rap battle. Antediluvian ass fucking beat. Mustard. You ever feel like what you're doing here is pointless? Yeah, that's the point. Lil Jon holding his musket sideways. That's pretty good, though. Mustard on the beat or mustard on a sandwich? I'd have to say mustard on a sandwich. -2. I'm not saying, like, the producer can still exist. Like, it's not like if it's his life or the condiment, regardless of how I feel about his production, I feel pretty good about it. I'm sacrificing the condiment to save the man's life. But if it's just like I can only experience the condiment or I can only experience the man's production work, I would rather have the condiment. You would sacrifice the condiment for the whole world for one man? Yes. I don't think I'm a utilitarian. Because, like, I get the idea that, like, if you could quantify suffering, not having mustard times 7 billion probably adds up to more than a man's life. But, like, it doesn't. Because that's a man's life versus mustard. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think we need to bring numbers into it. They not like us. Yes, sir. Drake, you lost the beef, man. It's probably one of the last 100 tweets that I saw. You ever think it's sad that, like, one day you will pick up your phone again for the last time? One of these days, one of these bits is going to stick and it's not going to come unstuck. And that's what I'm looking for, man. One of these bits will be your last? Yeah, well, fucking sooner or later, one of us must know or whatever. But it has the misfortune of coming, like, literally right after Visions of Johanna. So who the fuck cares? They're both really good. They're both really good. Whole damn double album's great. You know how, well, there's many reasons I know, but you know how I know I'm getting old? I find myself, like, getting past the single from the Bob Dylan albums and being like, wait a second, this blues song goes kind of hard. Not me typing into Google blonde on blonde Reddit and then going, what the fuck? Everybody's got pledging my time on the bottom? Everybody's putting pledging my time in the bottom tier of blonde on blonde, bro? Listen, it's no Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. It's no Visions of Johanna. It's no sooner or later one of us must know. It's no when you go your way and I go mine. But it's at least in there. Meet Me in the Morning last. Thank you! Meet Me in the Morning is not the worst song on Blood on the Tracks. People aren't ready for this fucking mature-ass take. The worst track on Blood on the Tracks is You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go, because it undermines the melancholy fucking venom that underpins the rest of the album. And you might say, well, what about Buckets of Rain? That does the same thing. Yes, it does so as a resolving chord at the end of the album. It doesn't fuck up the flow midway through. No one cares? I know! That's why I gotta keep the fire alive, man. Hello, Apollo, by the way. Hello, Apollo. Apollo, you would fucking love... You would love Highway 61 Revisited, Apollo. You would love Highway 61 Revisited. That Minion Bob Dylan singing Visions of Banana, that is fucking... That's something to think about, man. That's something to think about. What the fuck else do they say though? Like everything else they say except for banana is just like gleep glorp and shit like that, right? They say bello, benbito. I don't know if I'm not the kind of guy that can make that bit work, man. Someone could do it. Bob Minion? Yeah, I'm not the kind of guy. I don't speak Minionese. What's funny too is I bet like Bob Dylan is fucking with the Minions. He's 84 or whatever. Isn't that like the peak Minion demographic? You're right, that is more of a Freddie Mercury thing. Beto! Banana! Banana, bara bilo. Bilo. Bilo, banana. Anyway, whatever. We're like 5 years away from me not being able to say that shit or whatever. Probably. I don't know. Had to think about it. Could you beat Bob Dylan in a fight? Yeah, but I wouldn't want to. But I wouldn't, if it was in self-defense, I would defend myself until he was disarmed. But I would not, no matter how much my emotions got involved, I wouldn't proceed to harm him. That's one punch. But he never did like to talk about it all that much. It's my way. You know, you ever listen to Hurricane? Nah, don't worry about it. Don't look up the lyrics. Well, stop halfway through, maybe. You think you could beat up 36-year-old Bob Dylan? Okay, so I'm basically, physically, I take my odds. Bob Dylan was always kind of a skinny guy. But he might, because I think we might be talking 76, 77 Bob Dylan. So he might be kind of like on that TRT gym arc because I think he was going through his divorce. So I wouldn't want to fuck around with like 37-year-old Bob Dylan, I think. With the fucking desire drip, with the Panama hat with the feather in it and stuff like that, I wouldn't want to mess with that. The times are a-changing. Clears Highway 61 Revisited. That's a noob take. I'm looking for hacker takes. That's a noob take. Preachy-ass album. I'm so disappointed the stream is almost over, man. Level 1 crook-ass take. You know what? Opinions are... Everybody's got one. That being said, times are changing over Highway 61 Revisited. Are you like my grandma circa the Vietnam War? Like, I mean, it was an important album. Don't get me wrong. But so Woody Guthrie be like, what about bringing it all back home, guys? What about... Probably have to say, bringing it all back home. What happened with him and Joan Baez is right there in the lyrics. It's pretty literal. What does he say again? I think that, like, she fucking, like, smoked his eyelids and punched his cigarettes or something. It's all right there in the... It's laid out pretty clearly in the synopsis. How long are you willing to keep going for? Till the room stinks, till it's over. It's 13 hours. Damn, well, almost 14 minutes. This is taking forever, man. Next time you shoot down one of my content ideas, remember this stream. This is the greatest endeavor I've ever been I'm finally a part of something bigger than myself, Apollo. I don't think you get it, man. Also, just for the record, I didn't shoot down your content idea. I said yes. I said yes. In the last thing you suggested, I said yes. It's so insane that this is work. You ever read David Graeber? Yeah, have you? Well, I've listened to the audiobook. Have you really? Yeah, I listened to Bullshit Jobs, and then I listened to whatever the one is where he talks about like the social history of money. Finished the whole book, and I was like, damn. He didn't give me like a single tip on how to get rich. What the fuck am I wasting my time for? Yeah, he was telling me it was like debt, 9,000 years of history. I was like, damn, dude, just tell me what stocks to buy. Fuck. So true. It was only 5,000 years. I bought the DLC. It's about the same as most jobs. No disrespect to the people watching. Yes, if you were just talking about the jobs that the people in this chat hold. Because, like, there are probably, like, surgeons watching this, but hopefully not while they're operating or whatever. I would, you know, I've always wanted, like an axiom or a rule or something like that. It could be like, you know, What's the business one that's like as soon as something starts being measured, it ceases to be a good measure? I think about that all the time. Whenever you're on the Disney cruise and the servers say, hey, just so you know, if you don't give us 5 stars, they hit us with reeds in the back once you guys get off the ship. So that every time I get off the ship, no matter how fucked up the service was, I'm like, it's the best service I've ever had in my life. Please don't hit the staff. Goodhart's law. Yeah, I want a law, man. The law, my law is if you can watch me work while you're working, our jobs are at the same level of legitimacy. If you can watch a Twitch streamer while you're working, your job is as useful to society as Twitch streaming. Bad take, I'm a pilot. You could turn the shit off, man! Turn it off! I mean, you've been watching the news lately? To keep your eyes on the air, bro! Oh, man. Dude, can I tell you something? I'm back on my cash maxing shit, too. And you know why? I got fucking saved because Kate and I took a taxi yesterday. I was so depressed about not being able to use cash. I go into these fuck-ass donut shops. They flip the iPad around. There's no, like, coin slot or anything. I was in a taxi, and I was like, this is the perfect time. Because those fuckers are always like, our machine's broken. It felt so good to hand him some paper. And know that, I mean, I don't want to say he appreciated it, but like to know that that was like his preferred method of payment. Just go buy drugs? I don't want to buy drugs. I want to buy like Chinese food. They keep spinning the fucking iPad around, man. Like 5 years ago, they were all cash only. When I was in college, the dealers were only taking Venmo. That's fucked up, man. That's a fucking paper trail. You don't want that shit? Well, okay, it's true. It's not paper. Isn't that how they caught Matt Gaetz, man? It's like you have 100 transactions here, and the reason says for being a good person or whatever. For being $250 for being cool, winky face. Oh, man. I think your dealer is going to jail. Your dealer is going to prison. Your dealer needs cash. You think a lot of U.S. pennies is a good investment right now? I think it's smart to get rid of the penny. And I'll tell you why. We did it in maybe 2010 or something like that, and no one ever noticed at all. Like, it has not change the quality of life in Canada by even a fraction of a percent. But the thing is, I really believe when it comes to like insignificant problems, you just have to solve them and not ask anybody about them. Because if you get a room full of people and you ask them, like, how do you feel about getting rid of the penny? You're going to be stuck in committees and discourse and rebuttal but over the years, if we round it down, what if one person gets their costs always rounded up and their benefits always rounded down? That could equal upwards of 2 cents a year. Sometimes you just got to send it. I feel that way because, like, I mean, Vancouver goes through this shit all the time. You'll see, like, hey, they're putting in a bike lane over there. And you're like, great. And then you'll get, like, discourse. You get like a letter in the mail that's like, we had to pause the bike lane construction because the residents kicked up a fuss. So now come to City Hall in 3 months. We're going to have a fucking town hall on the bike lane. And then 3 months later, the town hall happens and nobody with a life goes because they got shit going on that's like more important. They got responsibilities. Then you get another letter that's like, because of the residents of the neighborhood voiced their concerns, the bike lane is going to be a half hybrid bike lane and half street parking because residents were really concerned about the amount of street parking that was going to get taken up by the bike lane. And you're like, it took like a year and a half. They should have just given 2 motherfuckers a cartoon style paintbrush and bucket of white paint, and that shit would have been done an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Just like an electric scooter and a long paintbrush, it would have been done. And then the people complaining about the street parking would have been like, where are we going to park? And then they would have turned right, gone to the side street and parked like next to their house instead of at the front of their house. And they wouldn't have talked about it ever again. But instead we got to have these long ass fucking discussions to make sure everybody's concerns. Like, listen, there's serious policy issues. You want to do a plebiscite or a referendum or something. But you just put the pain on the road, man. Also, Kay, are you ready to stream? I could just go on about this forever. But the city should make it illegal to own a car, but not have space in your garage to put the car. If you have an apartment, you can park on the street, that's no problem, because you maybe don't have a parking spot or whatever. But if you have a house with a garage, and they should be able to knock on your door and be like, show me your fucking garage, because I see your Mercedes parked out there. And if you open up the garage and it's 900 cardboard boxes, you get it as a $500 fine. That's what your garage is for. All that junk in there, put the junk in the dump, man. You know what feels great, though? Anyone else here from Vancouver and occasionally finds himself with too many cardboard boxes? Maybe I am turning into Bluey's dad. When you slowly build up a cardboard box surplus, and then you get enough that you can finally make an excuse to go to the Vancouver Zero Waste Center on fucking near Southwest Marine Drive, the Marine Gateway, Canby and fucking Marine, and you get to walk up the steel staircase, dung, 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 with like a fuckload of cardboard and chuck it into the bin. It feels so good. I'm going there tomorrow. It feels so good, man. The drive kind of sucks ass because I'm just fucking getting around all this fucking Canby construction, man. Oak Ridge, fucking all this for a mall. Yeah, whatever. What was I saying? Kate, are you ready to stream? He's live already. Okay. One more good attempt and then we're... doing tricks on it. I can live with that. All right, we'll be back to try again tomorrow. Anyway, see you, see you tomorrow. Later. Gay Bob Dylan be like, he sucks cock just like a man. Oh, he gocks just like a man. The last one to be like, yes, he does. He guzzles cum just like a man. Plug his mic in. Woody Guthrie at the fucking Newport Folk Festival. Don't do it, Bob. Don't go gay. I'm doing it. Once upon a time, you touched my balls. Didn't you? Dicking you? Boo! Boo! Bob Dylan went gay! He went gay! That's so true. Gay Bob Dylan. A man in me would do nearly any ass. And then it writes itself after that point. You're so true. My girl going through my phone. What the hell is this? Title, Gay Hurricane. Pissing coming out on a gay night. Enter my boyfriend from the upper hall. He gives me a glass from a bowl of cum. Shouts out, my God, I've come a lot. Here comes the story of the hurricane. I'm not gonna say it, it's a different song. It's a distinct song, okay? It's like instead of the song Sarah, it was like about, Daryl, Grecian type statue with a hell of a cock. Daryl, now that you got me, you don't need a sock. Something like that.